Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. And a whole bunch of more. What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for Supernatural Season 10, Episode 21. These numbers are getting way too big. Dark Dynasty. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me are Omikins. So happy over there. And Dom.
You're supposed to be the happy one, Omi.
And Clio.
Hello.
Alright, so here we go.
She's just like, hello.
I've been prepared for
this. Let's get this drink going.
Been ready for this for the last 4 hours.
Oh my god.
Charlie Bradbury. Round 1. Fight.
What? It was bullshit. It was bullshit.
How she was stupid and went to a hotel when they told her there was dangerous people out there and got herself killed. No, yeah, that's
I want to know
totally
why.
stupid.
Like, that didn't make sense to me. Like, I mean, I understand she wanted quiet. She thought that whatever Rowena Evil Lee had planned, that leaving would solve it, but that doesn't seem like enough for her to run off and risk stuff. But it's really stupid that she's dead. Because they took Kevin from me, and now they've taken Charlie.
It's a personal vendetta.
This is a personal
against
vendetta
you.
now.
Yeah, no, they're... Those are both very popular characters. I mean,
They also
I'm
took Chuck from
one
you,
of
too.
many. What?
They took Chuck from you, too.
And let's not forget, they're
I
probably going
like
to take
Kevin and
Crowley
Charlie
from you.
infinitely more than I like Chuck. Chuck was fine, but...
Chuck was fine. So, the Stein family.
I really like them.
Yeah, they're harvesting organs, which...
Is it really bad that just before they announced that they were the Frankensteins, it clicked in my head?
You know what, Dom?
Okay.
It did for me, too.
You wanna know what I did? I pointed at the TV, I was like, Frankenstein! Frankenstein? And then he said it, and I was like, yes!
It wasn't like this big thing like I started the episode going, oh, Frankenstein. It was like, right around it was like, maybe 20 seconds before it came out of his mouth, and he's just like, yeah, we used to go under a different name, and I'm like, Frankenstein?
Right.
I was like,
Well,
aha!
that's why they're sticking organs and extra muscles, because it's all about, like, human experimentation.
I think I made a goof to myself in my head, like, Stein. Frankenstein. And I just didn't even make anything of it, because at the time it seemed utterly ridiculous to me.
When we first were introduced to the Steins, we didn't know that they were harvesting organs. So, I mean, the only possible connection we could make is like Stein. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when it was revealed this episode, it makes complete sense because they told us they were harvesting organs.
Right, exactly. Scooping eyeballs out. Very pleasant.
Oh, melon baller! He just takes the melon baller out, and I'm like, nope.
I mean, I guess if I had to scoop somebody's eye out, I would rather do it with a melon baller than like what they did in Terminator and just use like a metal spoon. So.
I was gonna say, I would think that a spoon would have more precision than a melon baller. Also, not everyone's eyes are the same size.
Or shape, for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. So wouldn't a melon baller risk, like, tearing something?
Yeah.
Oh, now we're talking about eyes.
Don't worry, John's not here.
I
We're
see
watching.
what you did there.
I know, but it hurts
It hurts. I know.
to think about.
Indeed. So, Stein family equals Frankenstein. Thousands of years, manipulating the events of the world. They did it
They're
through sheer...
assholes.
Yeah, assholes. They said the book was just a facilitator.
Mm-hmm.
And, what's his name? Eldon Stein. He spilled a lot of beans to Dean.
Yeah. But you know what's really funny to me is like Dean can't get over the fact that, oh, this book might be true. Like, oh, you know, the Frankenstein was a real thing. When we just got through seeing on Charlie's computer when she was working on it, the supernatural novels were sitting on her Windows 8 like little
desktop thing.
The little screen she flashed by, and it's like the Carver Edlund novels, whatever
I caught that too. Yeah.
I was like, but then Dean had trouble thinking. He just knows that they had books written about him, and he's having trouble thinking Frankenstein's real. Like the world that they live in. Like, really? Why would you question something like that? I would take everything.
They dealt with a Frankenstein kind of guy before. How many seasons ago? He was the guy who was cutting people's organs out to make himself live forever. Whenever something wore out, he would replace the part.
They stood face to face with the portal to Oz. Like, you really gonna question Frankenstein at this point?
There is that, yeah.
Do you think that guy had any connection to the Steins?
He could have.
It's possible he could have. Yeah. Most definitely could have.
Go back and watch that now.
Yeah, that was. I don't remember what season it was. 3 or 4. 3, I think. Yeah, because they were wondering about how to make Dean live with the impending doom on his head. I think it was season 3. But anyway, as Dean said, this guy must have been really cocky that he was gonna, win because he spilled a lot of beans, and he ripped his fucking arm off.
Yeah. Like when they ran back in, I was like, what did he use to cut his arm off? And he's like, you ripped his arm off. It's like, oh.
Yeah, he didn't use anything to cut. He just probably grabbed it with the other arm and yanked.
Right.
I mean, he's got all those extra muscles. He'd be strong enough to do it.
Mm-hmm. He would be.
Although, his arm hanging there was surprisingly not muscular for how many muscles he's supposed to have.
Right.
Is it? See, there's another thing. Like, is it just the fact that I've watched this show so much that I know what to expect out of it? Or are they just too blatantly obvious? But when I saw him hanging by the ceiling from one arm, I go, he's going to rip his arm off.
Yeah.
He wasn't hanging by 2.
I didn't realize he was going to rip the arm off until they heard a noise. I was like, did he just rip his own arm off? Or did he just cut his hand off?
And
why hang him by one?
Just hanging there with one arm. I'm like, why isn't the other arm bound?
That was my other question, because if this guy's as strong, and Dean and Sam are in such... I was waiting for him to grab them with his other arm. Like, if he's so strong and all that bullshit. But anyway, so do you think that they're setting the Stein family up to be the main antagonist of Season 11? Or do you think that they're going to deal with the Stein threat in the next 2 episodes? Because
there's not enough time.
There's only 2 episodes left to Season 10.
The family's huge. There's no way.
They said they're huge. They're,
global.
They're global.
That's like if they took care of the Leviathans in 3 episodes.
Oh wait, they did.
They had a whole season.
They had a whole season of showing everything but Leviathans, and then the last 3 episodes were Leviathans.
It's been a while.
So.
Yeah. So they introduced the Stein family with the book. Now we got more of them. And then the next 2 episodes are going to be Dean eradicating them or some shit?
I don't know. I'd be really disappointed if they got rid of the Steins so quickly, because, I mean, they're interesting.
They are. They're probably the most interesting on the show since the Men of Letters showed up.
Right. I mean, as much as we, and we keep screaming for a Men of Letters spinoff, because that would be very interesting. But, Rowena and Charlie are working together, which was my big draw for this episode last week. I will say that. Putting the 2 redheads in the same room.
But it was like 3 minutes total of them interacting.
And it wasn't anything I expected.
But what was even better than that was Cass.
Oh, God. Cass is hopelessly ill-equipped to deal with those 2.
Cass and Charlie interaction was way better than Rowena and Charlie.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. And also Rowena's reaction, like when she is introduced to Cass, like, "What are you, dearie?" Is like an angel. It's like, "Come again." Like, does she not know that angels exist?
She's probably just never met one.
Yeah, I don't think she ever met one. Because how long before any of the hunters even knew that angels existed? Like, Sam and Dean were the first ones to know. They met Cass. They were the first ones to ever meet an angel.
Yeah?
That's
How many years of hunters have there been?
Quite a
Lots.
few.
So it
Lots.
really
Oh.
hasn't been until this whole angel story kind of spilled out that, we've had angels and,
Very true. You're right.
Rowena's been occupied for the last century or whatever.
She's been occupied.
She's been alive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So Crowley sends a minion off looking for her after interrogating a hamster. Yes, I remember who it was. It was the Grand Coven witch lady, but a hamster nonetheless.
Oh God, that was funny. I actually forgot that was the Greg Coven leader.
So Crowley speaks hamster.
He does.
Well, he understands hamster. He was speaking English.
Very true.
That's
He
true.
understands hamster, which I guess is a great power to have as the ruler of hell.
Talk to the woodland creatures.
Talk to the woodland creatures, yes.
The
So,
regular Snow White.
yeah, we knew it was going to happen eventually, but Dean found out all the lies that have been being fed to him.
Which
And-
was another thing that was total bullshit in this episode, because it was off camera he learns everything, and all we get is him yelling.
Yes,
Like,
very
oh,
true.
all of this build up to Dean finding out, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, and his, main freak out was kind of interrupted by a guy ripping his own arm off. And Sam played that one totally like, really, Sam, you've been lying to your brother all this time. When he confronts you with, he says that the book can't be destroyed. Sam could have just been like, I saw the book burn, and just like stuck to his guns and kept at it there, but...
I mean, Sam was just being such an idiot this episode. Everything he did was really stupid.
But when is Sam not an idiot?
It's a good point. I mean, he's supposed to be the smart one, guys. What the fuck happened?
He's the
Dropped out of
book
college, that's
smart
what's
one. That doesn't make him street smart. He's not socially inept, socially amazing. He can't lie to Dean, right to his face. He dodged every single question that Dean threw at him. So he's not good in that department. He's an intelligent researcher and stuff like that, but no.
Right, agreed.
About it.
But
I don't
no.
know. He's such an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah, he is. They
He
both
is. He's such an idiot. They're
So
both such
dumb.
idiots.
They're so dumb.
They are so
They
dumb.
have awesome people dying for them. One of
And
them has to die this season.
speaking of which, Charlie
Like,
runs
really
off
die.
and dies. But as Dean says, give them whatever they want. Give this person whatever the hell they ask for. She doesn't do that. She uploads all her notes and I assume emails them to Sam.
Yeah. What would you have done? Would you have given this guy the biggest power and witchcraft shit in the world?
I guess not, but
No.
Depending.
depends.
Depends. And if I was in her position,
Have adult diapers.
maybe I would. Maybe I would have, because probably don't feel like dying.
There is that. Also, I'd be armed with something a bit bigger than that little dinky dagger.
And I wouldn't have left to
Yeah,
go
what
to a
happened to
motel
her
in the first
katana?
place.
What happened to her katana? Something about this season and the deaths this season are really pissing me off, because last season we had a lot of epic on-screen deaths. Kevin, the dude who got his head chopped off, Demon Lady.
Mm-hmm.
Those were all really epic on-screen deaths. What this season we have Charlie dying off screen, we have Kane dying off screen. It's complete bullshit.
Did one of their producers suddenly be like, I want this to be a PG-rated show?
No, because they're still scooping eyes out. The sorority chick got strangled on screen. I don't know why major deaths are being done off screen.
I don't agree with the deaths being off screen, but I do feel like Charlie had to die.
Why?
And because this is only going to be the catalyst to Dean's enragement. We've been saying from the start of this season, the mark of Cain is going to have Dean kill Sam.
Good.
And
Good. That
right.
didn't happen.
Right. That's where I think they're going. They've hinted at this for 2 seasons now. About what the mark, when we saw Cain last season. And You know, that little talk, whatever we had with him, and then, you know, now we have the mark on Dean, and we're like, they've been talking about his rage and all this spilling over, and now they're keeping secrets from Dean, and he's getting upset. You see, he's getting angry. Like, why are they keeping? Everybody has told them. Bobby has told them. Cass has told them. Charlie said. Even Rowena has said, don't keep the secrets from him. This is not a good idea. Don't do it.
Right.
So when it finally gets out, which it has, Dean is just going to be enraged now. So all of this has been, like, building up to this moment, and we're just going to see Dean snap. And
I'm sick of people dying because the Winchesters have to keep secrets. Kevin died because Dean was lying, and Charlie died because Sam was lying.
Right.
Well,
and it's
to a degree, Charlie died because she was stupid.
Well,
she didn't have to run off to a motel by herself. If she stayed in the place, and because Cass even brought Rowena to another area of the warehouse and chained her to a wall, you know, so if she had just stayed where she was supposed to be and did her job, she wouldn't be dead right now. So that's her own fault.
That too. There is that. I mean, she did run off on her own. She was perfectly safe in that room.
She didn't tell anybody where she was going. She didn't call until she was on the guy was pounding on the door.
Everybody kept shutting her down. I don't think I like refuse to believe that was the only reason she ran off. I feel like there was something else.
It's probably not. I'm sure we'll see something about that. We have 2 more episodes to go, so.
Right, we do. And Dean is going to be pretty pissed, I believe. So 2 more episodes left. Good stuff. We got the Stein family. They're pretty evil. Is there anything we missed this episode? Because, again, straightforward.
It's just like, I don't know, like, everything's building up, and everything's going to be super tense these last couple episodes now. And I know, based on the preview, we're going to see the funeral of Charlie. She gets the Hunter's funeral. We're going to see that. And then, you know, I think this is when we're really going to see Dean just, like, having that silent boil where he's just infuriated with Sam to the point where he can't even talk to him. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be the whole brother thing, like Cain and Abel all over again.
Yeah. Probably. So, synopsis for next episode.
Really want Dean Murderfest again. Can he just kill a room full of people for no reason again?
Wait for it. The next episode is called The Prisoner.
Would you guys be happy with Dean killing Sam?
Yes.
And then turning into a demon again?
Yes.
And that being the finale?
Yes. And then I never get to watch the show again.
Wow.
Okay.
I would like it, honey. Anyway, our neighbors are being fucked hard, so... next episode's called The Prisoner. Dean is on a rampage. When it comes to the Steins, Dean decides to take matters into his own hands. Sam tries to come to terms with his decision. It's a very vague synopsis.
Biggity bag, bag, bag.
Yeah, but if you watch the promo, Dean is pissed. Like, he's yelling and, like, on a one-man killing spree, and looks like Crowley is going to be caught up in the crossfire somehow.
I mean, we saw what it took for Cain to just really get all the rage out of his system. He had to seclude himself, stay isolated, stay away from killing people. It took a whole lot. And then there's one little trigger, and he just went full-blown back to how he was.
Yeah.
Dean, on the other hand, has been doing everything that he's been doing this whole time, and he's been struggling even more so than Cain had to. And on top of that, trying to maintain the struggle, and then finding out everybody around you has been lying behind your back, or lying to your face even, you know, I don't blame him. He's going to go out on a rage, and I wouldn't be surprised if he killed every single living member of the show.
Yeah. And I would laugh my ass off if that happened.
Living. Not sure you can count demons as living. Can you?
Maybe. Maybe he'll kill Cass.
Maybe he'll kill Cass.
Cass hasn't died enough. He only died twice.
He's twice.
His death count is substantially lower than the Winchester.
No,
it is.
Cass has died 3 times.
No, David Nolan, Novak, whatever, does not count.
No, I don't count him. In the end of season 4, when Cass holds off a bunch of angels to protect Dean from somebody or other, and
when he does the thing, or
yeah, well, basically the end of season 4, before Lucifer is let out, Raphael, we find out in season 5 what happened, but Raphael smote Cass into dust and killed him. And then Cass was brought back at the end of season 4, beginning of season 5, assumed by God. And then at the end of season 5, Lucifer blows him up, which he is then brought back again. And at the end of season 6, or the beginning of season 7 technically, the Leviathans blow him up. So he's been blown up 3 times.
I don't remember Lucifer blowing him up.
Yeah, at the the last 2 minutes of the season 5 finale, Cass says, "Hey, ass butt," and sets Michael on fire. Come on, you don't remember the best line ever? Hey, ass butt. And then Lucifer's like, nobody fucks with my brother but me. Snap and blood fountain. There hasn't been a decent blood fountain in a while.
That's true.
I'm very sad about that.
What do you guys think the odds of getting some major characters to come back for the finale, like Death or Lucifer?
Death, yes. Lucifer, hopefully. Come on, just give us their father for one split second.
Because what if this whole thing fails, right? Like the Book of the Damned, Charlie translated, she got whatever to Sam, but what if it's not enough? What if they can't get it? Like, I see the only way at this point, with Sam being as desperate as he is, or like Dean might even just destroy all the stuff that Charlie found, if that's the case, all the stuff she did. I see the only way that Sam can get out of this is to make a deal with Lucifer himself.
I don't know. I just think something drastic has to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
That won't piss me off, preferably.
Fireworks done, honey.
And if they bring Lucifer back, they better bring Adam back with him.
Right.
We've gone over this.
Okay, hold on. Go on, honey. Our neighbors finally stopped doing illegal shit.
It was mentioned that in order to remove the curse, another curse has to be enacted on something else. So there has to be a swap.
Counter curse.
A counter curse. So, I mean, that's probably what they're going towards.
Because it's not a book of cures, it's a book of more curses.
Right.
Yeah.
And, it is just a book of curses.
Yeah.
In order to remove the one curse, they gotta enact another. So
I actually did a lot of research just recently about Adam in general, and nowhere in the show have they said anything about Adam his soul being shredded. The last we heard from him directly was season 6 when he was trapped in the cage with Lucifer, where he currently resides. We did not hear another word about Adam mentioned until this season during the play. When that girl...
That was just the fangirl talking.
Right, when the girl reminded them that he's still stuck in the cage. And they just kind of looked at each other like they had this awful feeling. But there's been no mention of him anywhere in between. So as far as we're concerned, he's still alive. There's nothing saying that he's dead, shredded, anything.
I remember hearing a character say that, so I...
Well, I mean, they can assume as much as we can.
Yeah. I mean, I hate arguing things I've argued before.
I know.
But...
No, I'm just saying, I actually went back and did research.
The only evidence that I have to give is what we saw happen to Sam's soul after only a year.
Right.
And it's been much longer for Adam.
Right. So Adam's good.
If we see Adam, it's not going to be Adam. It's going to be Michael wearing Adam's meat suit.
Right, because Sam was completely fucked up for, she said, for just being in there for less than a year with him. And Adam's been in there for quite much longer than that. So, yeah. My prediction, this is a series finale prediction, I think just after it's all done, Sam and Dean are going to be lying there dead and whatever, and it's just going to zoom out to Chuck closing a book and going well, that was an interesting experiment, and then opening a new blank book and starting over.
That's dumb.
Or something. Well, it's going to be dumb.
I'm sorry.
There is going to be no ending for this show that I'm going to be satisfied with. I'm sorry.
I will be satisfied with...
I'll be satisfied when they're both dead and they can't carry on anymore.
There have been very few series finales that I have been satisfied with.
We already know 100% confirmed next season they are going to do the spin-off again. We just don't know exactly what the spin-off is going to be. And if it's going to involve hunters, you can kill Sam and Dean off in 2 or 3 years and have new hunters carrying on a different legacy and have everything else carry on. It's completely fine. The world is going to continue without Sam and Dean. Sam and Dean have prevented the apocalypse probably numerous times, but they're not the only people out there that are doing anything.
Right. And holy shit, we just lost my favorite theory we came up with. Charlie and Claire as the Lady Hunter team. I was so happy about that idea last week.
Well, I mean, she did.
I want Jody. I want Jody and her cop buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To go off on adventures.
But the thing is, like Chrissy said, Charlie died off scene. Like, you didn't, off screen, you didn't see her die. She could just be unconscious with blood splattered all over her.
She's dead.
No, she's dead. They actually, in the preview, showed her funeral.
Okay.
Oh yeah, in the preview for next episode, they showed them burning her body. And, Dean going like, Charlie's dead, man.
I'm just sick of this, off-screen death bullshit.
I agree with you. I mean...
It's so... Sometimes it can be dramatic, but this season has just been so not dramatic.
What if the Steins do some kind of Frankenstein thing with Charlie?
I may actually be interested. I don't know. I'm so drained of caring for this show at the moment that anything might be whatever.
Because we don't know if they took her brain or, heart or something out of her body that's going to continue to function, and Sam and Dean just happen to overlook it because they're just so devastated. And they go and burn the body, and here she is in another body or something.
She just looks stabbed, honestly.
It seemed like they were preparing body parts so that they could put them in themselves. It didn't seem like they just took body parts. That they were harvesting them. They were, pumping these people full of drugs or, vitamins or whatever to make them compatible with their bodies. So just to take her heart or her brain to make it function again, it doesn't seem plausible with the way they're going.
Right.
Yeah, we have Winter Winters in chat saying, Dean kills and kills and kills, and finally death comes to smote Dean, but Lucifer gets involved, trying to take over hell again, and God comes back to take over heaven again, and an all-out war begins. That wouldn't be a bad finale,
I kind of would like that.
Yeah.
With, leaving us with impending doom, I think that would be fine. And I also want to thank Winters for agreeing with me that the Charlie thing was total bullshit. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I was a mixed feelings train for Charlie. I love Felicia Day and pretty much everything she does. And I'm left kind of pissed off that they killed her off that way, especially, like you said, Clio, an off-screen death.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't... If you're going to kill the character off, do it right.
I have zero emotions and attachment to Charlie.
I know that.
And
I wish I could have seen the smile creep on Nikki's face.
She decided to leave and be on her own and put herself in danger.
But
I said, serves you right.
But that's not... To me, I don't believe that's a choice Charlie would make. To me, that looks like the writers wanted her to die, so they gave her a way to die. It doesn't... It seems like bullshit.
It does seem like bullshit because you're right. That was totally not a... Charlie was she was a survivor. She was always very careful. After all that, finding out that she's working for a freaking biblical monster.
She also hasn't exactly been the same since she came back to Oz and had Dark Charlie running around, too.
That, too. But, she was always careful. She stayed off the grid and all that other fun shit. So this was a completely out-of-character move.
Exactly, because then she's in a motel with the blinds open.
With the blinds open. Using a pretty obvious...
Using a Surface Pro tablet. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that. Like, the guy that ripped his arm off, knew where she was and called by the name, the alias she was staying under. So, they clearly had some other method of tracking her other than looking through the window.
I'm sorry, but if you're a nerd, using the using the alias of Asimov just screams nerd alert.
Well, it's not only they've used magic to track her before.
True.
I mean, as soon as she gets out of that dome of protective magic that I'm pretty sure they had set up, she was like a red dot bleeping on the map. She was just emanating.
But if that you're right, that's true, and I only just thought of this. They can track the book.
She didn't have
They
the
should
book
have
on her.
known the book wasn't with her.
That's true.
That doesn't make sense.
That doesn't make sense, indeed.
They were clearly after something else.
Basically,
No, he asked her for the book.
right.
Did he specifically say where is the book, or did he say where is it? I don't remember now.
No, they were specifically after the book from her. Well, they didn't know if she had the book or not. They just knew that the last person who had the book, according to their, intel, was her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the obvious person to start with.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But
plus,
if you're gonna go under like aliases that she's hiding under and start nitpicking that, like how many obvious aliases have Sam and Dean gone under? For,
Right, but they use class.
And how many times
Agent Scolder, Agent Mull, like really?
They
really?
use like pop culture and classic rock references. She uses sci-fi author reference, and she's a nerd. That
No,
I mean.
I get that, but I mean, like,
It's
you're
a
gonna
little
go into a police department and say you're Agent Skull, like, no, that doesn't work.
That's kind of stupid. But, Crosby, Agent Stills, or was it Agent Stills and Agent Nash? I forget what they used. And, Agent Tyler and Agent Perry. Like, so many more. But, those are the ones that stand up in my mind. Basically, what this episode boils down to is Charlie would still be alive if Sam didn't lie to Dean.
Maybe.
But but yeah, the writers wanted her dead. That's the only thing I can take away from this.
for all we know, is Felicia Day may not want to do the show anymore either. We don't know, so we can't just go accusing the writers.
That's true.
They probably allotted her so many episodes, and she agreed to them, and then she was like, no, I don't want to sign on for any more. Maybe she wanted to take bigger steps from TV and go into movies.
Well, she's got so much going on with Geek and Sundry that I don't think she's got time for movies.
No, she definitely does not.
No, that's what I'm saying. That she's got a lot on her plate already, so she may have been like, guys, I can't do this anymore. Let's write me out.
Yes, but even so, they still picked a really... It seems like a heavy... Like, it doesn't feel right. I think my point still stands.
Maybe for making
like I said, I don't agree with the
you and for
off-screen
everyone
death.
else, so that Dean freaks out, and it makes Dean's reaction more genuine.
Yeah, I don't agree with the off-screen death, but I do think she had to die. And we're gonna see that come into play in the next 2 episodes, so...
I hope so. I mean, if they kill off a character like that, who a lot of fans love, killing off a character like that better have something good come from it story-wise.
Yep.
So, Dean, I mean, hell, for the synopsis, the first, all capitalized, Dean is on a rampage.
I mean, how many people were devastated when Bobby died? But you know what? In the grand scheme of things, it was worth it.
Yes, but Bobby's death, Kevin's death, they were done well, written well, filmed well. Like, I don't think that Charlie's
Right, but I don't
death
think
was written
Charlie's
well.
story ends with the death. That's my point. So I think
I know.
they just step back and wait for the next 2 episodes to pan out before we get so critical over the death itself.
Right.
I can be critical now. That's fine.
Bobby's death they drew out over how many episodes?
Yeah.
And then he was a ghost.
Yep.
So. Anyway, I guess that's our show. That's our show. We'll go with that. Yeah. So, Clio, where can they find you?
You can find me at Cliomoto on the socials and on Twitch at the Cliomoto.
Okay, Dom.
You can find me down below at Phenomadom.
Do.
Phnomedom.
Indeed. Honey, where can they find you, Miss Omikins? Would you want to mute your microphone? This way we have evidence.
Right now, but you're still doing shit. Find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYvenom24.
Okay. You can find me on Twitter at Thilladrin, right there. You can find us all on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. The hell was that?
Scissors?
There was some, like, ominous scissor slicing.
I thought it was a knife.
Yeah, I know. That's like...
Scissors?
Is that like a message? Like, I'm going to cut something?
Maybe.
She's gonna cut a bitch.
She's gonna choke a bitch with scissors.
Does Wayne Brady have to choke a bitch?
Thank you for watching, everybody.